Greetings and welcome to the energy of Virgo. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Welcome to the channel and its contents. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the order of the Twin Sun. Please take only what you will. This is a reading for the energy of Virgo, and Virgo is the ruler of the sixth house. Mercury is also there in terms of its ownership, the lord of the house. And with the sixth house, there is the last step into perfection of the individual, okay? This has to do with the mirror, the idea of what can be seen from the opposite in the 12th house and making rationalizations on the realm of perception, okay? So these are in their very nature illusory, okay? Illusory, meaning that Virgo does its best to maintain a sense of critical acclaim, to maintain a sense of critical curatorial respectability. There's an element of discipline that comes with the sixth house, as well as preservation, okay? Preservation of in the last stage of individuation, okay? So we'll go ahead and begin now. I got a very important text from someone I'm doing a reading for, actually, sidereal reading. But we'll go ahead and do this. Happy birthday, by the way, for any of those who are indeed having their solar return. I do wish you, in terms of this energy of the mirror of critical acclaim, to let loose the perception of perfection, because there already is in the imperfect, in that which is not perfected, a degree of what one may call beauty, okay? And in this respect, out of the triplicity of Earth, Earth in general is a very beautiful sort of sensual through Taurus, structural, and I'm talking about the Atlantean ideal, or rather the Olympian ideal, that is Capricorn, and Virgo is innocence as well as purity, pristine porcelain quality, a porcelain quality that is Virgo. Anyways, enough of the butter. We'll go ahead and begin with the bread. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay. There's a realm of experience here when it comes to karma. You must go through this experience in order to surrender and find resilience of the mind. Surrendering and finding resilience of the mind when approaching intuition. Okay, you can learn by stepping back and to know why you jumped through the lion's gate. So, we're moving into the main gusto of the reading, and this has to do with, once again, the energy of Virgo and the significance of another, okay? The Great Mirror is a 9-card spread that has been known to work in favor of seeing karmas that may exist between a particular rasi or placement in opposition to another, okay? And this opposition doesn't have to be intention. But it could be a form of release. It could be a form of harmony, okay, of the highest order. So we'll go ahead and look into that now. Please take only what you will. Okay. 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 I think this has to do more with release, but it's release mostly of expectation, of conditions. Okay, this person you're dealing with is finally having a sense of clarity with the season of Virgo. This is the first time I'm actually seeing judgment as Virgo card. Usually I see this as Sagittarius, possibly Leo, Aquarius, possibly Scorpio, but now I'm seeing it as Virgo. Virgo is essentially concerned with judgment, much like Libra, but Libra is dealing with checks and balances within the etheric plane as well as through the other and through the mind. Okay, balance of the mind as well, with the graces of Venus, balance of essentially subtleties. With judgment here, there's more, especially with the sun in Virgo energy, a sort of higher order, a higher calling, okay? And we have here a type of Vestal Virgin that is winged Vestal Virgin. And all these people who are grounded, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. I've never read it as this before, but this could be, in one sense, a card that deals with the Angel of Fatima, okay? Lady of Fatima, who appeared in Portugal sometime in the early 1900s, if I'm not mistaken, and began essentially a year later the Spanish influenza through her appearance, okay? There was a golden sun as well, an angel who came down to children, okay? And the children hailed this angel as the Virgin Mary. But I see here devotion to the self, as well as devotion to a higher order. Whomever this person is, they're getting a call, and I think you're not very concerned with it. There's an element of ennui, boredom, detachment, as well as the Bodhisattva is here, sitting by the Bodhi tree, meditating, not really concerned much with anything that comes in the form of influence. Okay, the key word is influence. So you will not be influenced by much of anything for the time being, but you are sharing something that ties to a type of devotion, but yours is more inner devotion. Theirs is being influenced by a higher order. What is consciously coming about is le légèreté, which is the Justice card. Speaking of Libra, we spoke about it earlier. This is also Sagittarius. This has to do with the lesser form of Sagittarius, okay, which is dogmatic, which is extremely judgmental to the point of things becoming extremely logistical or contractual, okay, looking very finely into the conditions that are written in stone, okay. This speaks of an imbalance, okay, and when Libra is in balance, they are actually in form because they're never trying to balance themselves. They're always trying to balance others around them, okay, find harmony within systems around them at their detriment, as well as Sagittarius. In the lesser form, there is essentially the principles of belief, but in very conditional or very highly stratified forms of limitation. It's in detriment, okay. So there's something that you can learn from this type of situation, at least on a conscious level. I see the energy of Virgo as being distant from this connection, as also going deeply within and finding that this connection might actually be a great sense of there might be a sense of detachment or boredom that has come about here. This is because the scales are imbalanced in terms of the sword of truth, as well the scales of Libra not being balanced. Therefore, one does not reflect another. Okay, so far, this is an interesting read. I think the connection on a deeper, more profound level deals with the sense of an obstacle, essentially, not really confronting what has been dealt here, a feeling that there may be something that will never satisfy you within this connection, in terms of especially becoming espoused to your beliefs or the structures that sustain the deeper aspects, or the deeper connections between you and this person, place, or thing. Um, there also is a feeling of disintegration of labels. Okay, and labels can be very important in terms of social understanding. Okay, so social dysfunctionality emerges out of this, a feeling of being perhaps inadequate in some way, or perhaps someone oscillating in and out in a way that is very Aquarian in nature, very independent. Okay, so the obstacle is essentially being overburdened by passions. Okay, whatever that means. Um, Also being overburdened by not feeling the inspiration generally. So this is kind of a downer reading. Let's see here. There still is something about you that minds the connection, that wants to learn from it. And there is a lot of Libra energy from this person. Judgment, very strong. This arc right here is very Libraic. Okay, Libra card here, Libra card here, and Libra through judgment, Virgo through judgment. Okay, I think that, excuse my interruption, that there could be something about the realm of perfection that is seen in the mirror here. It could be that you are inspired in some way by a type of person that needs to find a sense of clarity, okay, a sense of clairvoyance, clairaudience, being able to um, sort of rise up. And that is perhaps what this person is doing. There's a grace about them that is coming about. You are observing this grace from a distance, and this is helping you to learn something about perhaps selflessness, perhaps um, selfishness. It really depends on what we can define as the self, as being a perfectly objectified version of what someone can be evolving in. Okay, in terms of the human condition, there are acts of regeneration here that are through judgment, that talk about incarnations, rebirths. Okay, um, and because the 7 card here is here, as well as the 9 card, there's a great deal of really finding a sense of a philosophy, okay, on their end. So I give them that credit, whomever they are. What emerges out of this is roots, okay. There is an escapist dimension, or an idealism here, that is extremely romantic. It moves from the 5 to the 6, so it's their move. Whomever this is, they're moving towards this, hopefully in a graceful way. 7 is also the card of fertility, okay, through the Empress energy. Okay, so there is a great deal of grace here that you can perhaps observe, and it's best to observe from a distance. These feelings of inadequacy, or the inability to seal bonds or contractual agreements with this kind of agent, this kind of person, is much beyond normal comprehension. And it's your job to not be apprehensive or fearful, but to apprehend, essentially, what can be learned from such an individual. Eventually, I think the scales will flip, and there will be some sort of truth or philosophy that comes through the Justice card. Okay, with Sagittarius energy being strongly there. There also is something about devotion, the path of devotion that comes out from one and can be imparted to another. This person may move you in some certain way, and they might be going through great changes in order to do so. They could also be very fixed or active in the way they seek out clairaudience as well as clairvoyance, the ability to find in a very clear way, to find clarity. That is what they're trying to do. They're trying to find their voice. Okay. In terms of some of the blocks, yes, yes. So there is a need to embrace eclipse-like energy. Okay, this is talking about Rahu especially. Desire is a big factor here. Okay, because when the sun eclipses the moon, Rahu emerges, the dragon's head emerges, the Ouroboros emerges, and it's through that mystery that Virgo can find once again the silver lining that facilitates, that creates and the creates and sustains the material garbage, or perhaps the spiritual sort of extremity of the 12th house. Okay, the abstraction, the realm of Maya, illusions. Okay, but you have to be careful of this type of energy because Rahu it's very heady, and there's something about you that needs to essentially turn your head, to shift your head in a certain way, to be flexible enough to perhaps observe, okay, what kind of grace this person can embody, if any. There also is something about their conditionalities, okay. There's a dry spell here, a dry spell that they are not letting you in on. There also is something about the ability to come up with conditions that are unconditional and unconditional conditions. Okay, whatever that means. A voice is trying to be had here, to be heard, but the voice wants to register more emotional content, to be the bridge towards what exactly? Towards this this propelling force to get behind, to leave the past behind and to move forward gracefully into the future. I think that's what the page of swords is doing. So observation, and then adding to the six of swords would be the seven of swords, right? Because the page of sword adds to the seven of swords, to the six of swords, seven of swords. Okay, and seven of swords has to do more with more an Aquarian ingenuity. Okay, the Aquarian way, which is more middle grounded. It's also very lofty, futuristic, objectified relations, distant, perhaps open relationships. Okay, that are unconditional in nature. Okay, so beware the dragon's head. Also, I knew it. Ooh, there's something here. What is death pointing to? I need to know. Okay, so there's going to be a shift eventually. There's going to be a death to ambivalence, the two of swords energy. Okay, and also there's some form of letting go of anything that has been numbing pain for them. Okay, this is half of what they brought in the past, whomever or whatever this is. Excuse me. So I do hope that has helped. Do wish you well, and I bid you adieu. Goodbye.